the first thing I want to mention is that on the last videos that I made for this chapter, I forgot to change this. If you're printing these out, the first thing I want you to do is change this. If it says 10.3, change it to 9.3. If it says 11.3, change it to 10.3. So I have some videos that I just made for you that are going to be saved in the correct folder, but I may be saying 10.1 when I really mean 9.1. Okay, 9.3. More about parabolas and their applications. When given a quadratic equation in standard form, the vertex can be found by this. Negative b over 2a gives you the x part of the vertex. Plug that back into the function to get the y part. So negative b over 2a gives you the x part of the vertex. The domain is always all real numbers. The range is the lowest y value to the highest y value. The axis is x equals the x part of the vertex. Example 4. Find the vertex, the axis, the domain, and the range, and then graph this y equals 4x squared minus 24x plus 7. Since this is in standard form, I have to use this negative b over 2a. I realize that I could use my graphing calculator to find the vertex, but I don't want you to depend on doing that because several of the problems that are going to work have really large numbers, and it's too hard to use the graphing calculator to find the vertex. So this negative b over 2a is our best bet. So this is the main thing you're learning in this lesson, is this negative b over 2a. Substitute negative 24 into this negative b over 2a expression. That will give you the opposite of negative 24 over 2 times 4, which is 24 over 8, which is 3. That's the x part of your vertex. Substitute 3 back into your function in place of x. Simplify. 4 times 3 squared minus 24 times 3 plus 7. Put all that in your calculator, you're going to come out with negative 29. So I know that my vertex is 3 comma negative 29. My axis is x equals 3 because it's x equals whatever that x part of the vertex is. Domains, negative infinity to infinity. I always graph these and then decide what the range is because it's just easier that way. So here I have this parabola. I've just kind of sketched this little graph and put 3 comma negative 29 down here for my vertex. The smallest y value on this whole parabola is negative 29. So my range starts at negative 29 and goes up forever. So it's negative 29 to infinity. Example 5. Find the vertex. Tell me which direction this opens. Tell me if it's wider, more narrow, or the same shape as y equals x squared, and how many x-intercepts does it have? Here is my equation. Y equals negative x squared plus 6x plus 6. Step 1, find the x part of the vertex. Negative b over 2a gives me 3. Substitute 3 back in there. The y part is 15. So I got my vertex, 3, 15. Which direction does this open? Down, because that's a negative sign. It has the same shape as y equals x squared because I do not have a number in front of that x squared. All I got is a negative sign. So it's got the same shape as y equals x squared. They're asking me how many x-intercepts it has. Well, the easiest thing to do is just graph it and see how many times it crosses the x-axis. Y equals negative x squared plus 6x plus 6 graph negative x squared plus 6x plus 6 graph, and crosses the y-axis at 6. I know that the vertex is 315. I know it opens down. I'm going to zoom and zoom out and see what I see. Now, zoom out helped me. I couldn't see where it was crossing the x-axis. I knew it had to be crossing two places. So I went to zoom. I went to zoom out, and whenever I did that and I hit graph, then I could see the whole graph. So, crosses the x-axis in two places, and I've answered all the questions they've asked me on this problem. Number 10, little word problem. Find the maximum product of two numbers whose sum is negative 14. What numbers yield this product? If I let x equal the first number, and I'm just going to let some question mark, I'm going to let question mark equal the second number. Then x plus question mark equals negative 14. Whenever I solve for that question mark, so I have some way to represent that in terms of x, I say that that question mark equals negative 14 minus x. Multiply, because they're saying maximum product, multiply the number x times negative 14 minus x. That's this times this, first number times the second number. That gives me negative 14x minus x squared, negative x squared minus 14x. Maximum and minimums always occur at the vertex. Since we're looking for the maximum, we know it will occur at the vertex. So all we have to do now is find the vertex. Negative b over 2a tells me that the x part is negative 7. Substitute negative 7 back into the original equation. Opposite of negative 7 squared minus 14 times negative 7 gives me 49. They ask me what numbers yield this product. The two numbers are negative 7 and 7. And the maximum product is 49. So my two numbers are negative 7 and negative 7. And the maximum product would be 49. I don't even think they asked me to find the maximum product. Number 11. We better put number 11 on a different little YouTube thing.